One day a dark, stormy night in a small coastal village. The wind howled, and the waves crashed violently against the shore. Inside the village, a small group of believers gathered in a humble church for evening prayer. Among them was Samuel, a young fisherman known for his skepticism and hardened heart. He often mocked those who believed in the divine, finding comfort in his own self-reliance and the strength of the sea. But tonight was different. Samuel's boat had been destroyed by the storm, and he was left with nothing but the cold, wet night. His mind was filled with anger and fear, unsure of what would happen next. He had heard rumors of strange happenings near the church, of a ghost that had appeared to many, but he dismissed them as superstition. As the storm raged outside, the church doors creaked open, and Samuel, unable to resist, stepped inside. The congregation continued to pray, but something felt off tonight. The atmosphere was heavy, charged with an unseen presence. As Samuel stood at the back, his eyes scanned the room. Suddenly, a soft light began to shine in the center of the church. It wasn't the light of a lamp or candle but something far more pure, filling the entire space with a warmth that was almost tangible. Samuel's heart raced, and his skepticism began to falter. A figure appeared, cloaked in light, standing before the altar. It was as if the storm outside had been swallowed by this otherworldly peace. The figure's presence was undeniable, and yet it was comforting, not terrifying. Samuel's breath caught in his throat as the figure spoke. "Samuel, why do you doubt? The storms of life may rage, but I am here to calm your heart." Samuel's knees buckled, and he fell to the ground. The figure spoke again, gently, yet powerfully. "You call me a ghost, but I am the light of the world. I am the presence that never abandons, even in the darkest storms. Fear not, for I have already overcome all that you face." Samuel trembled, but as he looked up, the light began to envelop him. He felt the weight of his doubts, his anger, and his fears lift away, replaced by a sense of peace he had never known. The storm outside seemed to quiet as well, as if the very heavens were echoing the stillness within him. When Samuel finally stood and looked around, the figure was gone, but the peace remained. He knew in his heart that he had encountered something divine, not a ghost in the way the world would think, but the living presence of Jesus Christ. The light of Christ had entered his life in the most unexpected of ways, and in that moment, Samuel's faith was reborn. From that night onward, Samuel became a humble servant of the Lord, dedicating his life to sharing the message of peace and grace he had received. He no longer feared the storms of life, for he knew that Jesus, the light of the world, would always be by his side.